Hearst Castle, unsung heroes.
Welcome to Unsung Heroes at Hearst Castle. It took a village to support this castle. The former sleepy whaling port of San Simeon grew into a village that would help sustain William Randolph Hearst's estate. For 28 years, this ranch produced crops and livestock for the family, guests, workers, and construction crew here. Construction began on the hilltop in 1920. As early as 1921, Mr. Hearst and his architect, Julia Morgan, were preparing for poultry production on the ranch. There would be a few different poultry managers over the years. The manager from the mid to late 1930s was one Gladwin Read. Kansas born and bred, Read had come to California at age 30 to work in Petaluma and to earn a master's degree from the University of California at Berkeley. His specialty was chicken nutrition. Understanding the varied nutritional needs of each type of bird would be a tremendous asset to a poultry farm and ranch with almost every exotic bird you could think of. Mr. Read's daughter said that her father attributed his recruitment as poultry manager to the Hearst family connection to the university. In one of his talks, he related that in 1935, the manager of the Hearst Ranch had journeyed to Davis, the UC Agricultural Campus. Mr. Apperson called attention to the money contributed by the Hearst family to the university and indicated that the time had come for some reciprocity. He needed a poultry specialist. "Soon I had another real gentleman as my boss," said Mr. Read. The bird farm was tucked away in a little canyon of its own at the base of the hill. The main building included a 5-room bungalow for the manager. Mr. Read, his wife Alethea, and daughter Barbara would live in the poultry manager's house, designed and landscaped by Julia Morgan to echo the character of the hilltop castle on a more modest scale. Young Barbara remembered looking up at the hilltop every day to see if Mr. Hearst was home in his castle. It would be all lit up when he was present. It wasn't until years later, when she looked in storybooks, that she related her childhood experience of living on the ranch to that of the serfs who worked to supply the lord of the estate. It was quite a large operation, with domestic fowl in 2 main buildings totaling 6,400 square feet and a brooder house 280 feet long. Lush quarters for ducks included freshwater ponds. There were 15 pigeon lofts, innumerable pheasant pens, and wire-covered enclosures for a variety of birds. Mr. Read's inventory from June 1937 listed a grand total of 7,032 birds, including nearly 3,000 chickens and 1,200 pheasants. Although Mr. Hearst never set foot himself on the game bird ranch during Mr. Read's tenure, he communicated with the manager through his secretary and showed an interest in details, inquiring about particular breeds that he thought would make a good addition to the farm. Under Read's management, many exotic game birds were raised and bred. The Gura Victoria, successfully bred by Read on the Hearst Ranch, was too rare and expensive to be served at table, live birds being valued at $350 a pair. The jungle fowl, on the other hand, was a game bird that proved very fruitful and was soon a common item on the castle menu. Read said his job was to have plenty of birds on hand whenever they might be needed, regardless of the season. A sample of one weekly order included 24 squab broilers, 12 pheasants, 18 mallards, 12 guinea fowl, 3 wild turkeys, 6 domestic turkeys, and 24 jungle fowl. We're in the kitchen at Hearst Castle. where many of the plain or fancy fowl were cooked. Here, Chef Carpio prepared one of Mr. Hearst's favorite dishes, pressed duck. Of course, the ultimate destination was the table in the refectory, where the poultry was presented with flair. After 1937, entertaining wound down at San Simeon and poultry production decreased along with it. Mr. Read left in 1939, accepting a position with a feed company, and he would eventually have his own business as a specialist in micronutrients. He retained a lifelong fascination with the whole Hearst story and wrote his memoirs in the 1950s about his unforgettable experience here. And thank you for joining me today to hear about Gladwin Read, manager of the Poultry and Game Bird Farm and today's unsung hero at Hearst Castle.